Good morning. 9:06. All right, so Chris is on his way.
Likely story.
Joan, the cool factor of this show has gone down like 50 points.
Yeah, at least.
I know I'm no Chris Hand, but that's okay. By the way, did anybody last night when you saw Chris at the big Monty Fritz shindig, did you tell him the joke? Did you say, hey, Chris, break a hand?
Oh.
As opposed to break a leg, right? I said, somebody tell Chris, break a hand. Did nobody at the thing?
Nobody did, no.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
All right. Whatever. And I thought I knew you people. Hey, by the way, did you hear what Chris Cuomo said about AOC? I love this because, he's a leftist, right? I mean, Chris Cuomo, would you put Chris Cuomo on par with Bill Maher? Joan?
No, I think Bill Maher is probably a little more left.
You think so? Okay.
I do, but I could be wrong.
Who's the freest thinker? Bill Maher or Chris Cuomo? I think, you know what, Joan? I think it's close.
Yeah.
I think it's close. Anyway, this is what he says about AOC.
AOC has done nothing meaningful in Congress. She's done it all on social media. And she's one of your leading names in who's going to be president. Do you not get this concept of 80-20? She's an 80-20 loser all day long. Why? She is clearly catering to a minority. She's her own version of MAGA. She's looking for an outraged enclave. She's not about the majority. She's not about consensus. She's not about solutions.
She's not even about brains or thinking clearly.
She wants government to give you everything. She's a socialist in a capitalist society. What are you thinking?
See, he's right. He's absolutely right. By the way,
That's an unexpected take for me. I would think Chris Cuomo would be all in for her.
Okay, I'm going to say this respectfully.
Okay.
And I can say this because I'm going to be out of here before you because Chris Hand is going to hopefully be here within a couple of minutes. Mm-hmm. But how often do you watch Chris Cuomo?
Oh, not anymore. I mean, I used to when he was on CNN.
He was really good on CNN until, he and Don Lemon would do their stupid little thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so since he got fired or left CNN, whatever happened, do you know what's interesting, Joan? Magically, people become a little more, I'm going to say, free-thinking.
Yes.
When their job no longer requires them to be on the left. So Chris Cuomo, he ends up out of a job at CNN, and suddenly he's, right down the middle. Have you noticed that? Where people, they're paid. I bet you if Joe Scarborough got crap canned from BSNBC or whatever it is these days, that he would suddenly see the light and he would no longer be the leftist arse kisser that he is. He would suddenly be all about, we've got to be fair to all sides. And, I can see what the Republicans mean here, as opposed to what he is currently doing, which is, and occasionally, just occasionally, he'll call out his own crew. But generally speaking, not so much. By the way, so real quick, Hassan Piker, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Hassan Piker in that Mao-style suit that he was wearing. Oh, look who's here, Chris. Chris, just so you know, I'm destroying your show right now. Do you know what? Hey, Joan.
Yes.
Hey, Joan, what is your favorite bread recipe?
Like I don't know, sourdough bread.
Is your sourdough?
Yeah.
Like I like a good wheat.
Uh-huh.
With a good, I don't know what you make wheat bread in. Hey, did anybody come up to you and say, "Hey, break a hand" yesterday?
No, nobody did.
Nobody did. People disappoint me.
It's been a morning.
So, how are you?
I'm good. So, you know what? I will tell you this. I decided, and this is going to be weird.
Okay.
But I as I'm watching the air in my tire leak out as I'm driving down the highway, I decided to just be grateful, and that's what I chose to do.
Really? You chose to be grateful. You know what? Here's why you're grateful, because you've still got 3 that have air.
It's true, and I was grateful because I don't have my car didn't come with a spare tire.
Oh, I hate that.
Like, I guess newer cars aren't coming with spare tires.
Really?
You have to pay for it. Or
So I chose to be very grateful because I was like, at least I didn't find out walking out of here I found out on the way here.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had a friend in Dan Mandis who wouldn't complain.
Sure.
He wouldn't roast me on the air.
No,
He would just
not
step
me.
in and fill the gap.
You mean be professional?
Yeah, and I was grateful for that. So I chose gratitude. It could have thrown my morning through a loop.
Sure.
And maybe a few years back it would have,
Yeah.
but not today.
No, Joan and I listen, Joan and I, we regaled the listeners with our favorite bread recipes.
That's really, I mean,
You know
top
what
notch.
do you know what the key is, Chris? Is it to good bread?
Butter.
Yeast.
I
Actually,
like
have
the
no
butter
idea.
answer.
It's butter.
Yeah.
So Hassan Piker, just real quick, because I don't know what you plan to do. Am I sticking around until your break, or what am I doing?
I don't know, whatever you want to do. I feel like we would miss a lot of quality time together if we didn't.
Sure. So
Is that okay? Do
Yeah.
you want to hang
It's
out?
a
or do
Dan
you want me-
Cross Mandoff.
It's a Dan Cross Mandoff.
Very good.
Do you want to just tag out?
no,
You're welcome
no, we'll
to tag out.
You know what?
We could do a Chinese fire drill real quick.
We could do a Chinese fire drill, but no, I'll hang out.
Look at this.
I'll hang out.
Thanks, Dan.
So, how many people? I've got a question for the class. How many people did Mao Zedong kill?
Ooh.
How many people? Joan, do you know?
I don't know. Millions.
Good, Joan.
Thank you.
Was it?
Way to go, Joan.
It wasn't 100 million, was it?
40 to 80 million
Oh
people.
my gosh.
And Hassan Piker wore a Mao-style suit, speaking to all of these,
listen,
college kids.
We were talking about this yesterday. Michael Jordan trying to bring back the Hitler stash. Could this be just Hassan Piker's way of trying to bring back the Mao coat?
Why would you do that? Of all the styles to, and same with Michael Jordan.
You're
What
gonna
was
have
he
to ask
thinking?
MJ. You're gonna have to ask MJ.
Where does one even buy a Mao-style coat?
I would imagine Etsy.
Are you being serious?
Oh, Etsy. Yeah. You can get all kinds of things on Etsy, including you can get voodoo dolls. You can get people who will actually cast a spell against somebody that you don't like.
Really?
Etsy has all kinds of really strange things.
That's a little
going on.
bizarre.
Yep.
Probably what happened with my tire this morning.
Hey, Chris, who
Yeah.
is a bigger thinker, Chris Cuomo or Bill Maher?
Bill Maher.
Isn't that a tough one?
I would say Bill Maher.
Okay.
Because Chris Cuomo, I mean, he gaslit us through COVID.
See, that's the thing. And I was saying, once people leave the job where they have to be left, all of a sudden they get out into the world of the internet and X and so forth, and suddenly, people are a little more fair and balanced,
Yes.
if you will. So rest assured, when I get crap canned from here, I'm not going to turn liberal
No.
if I end up doing some sort of a podcast.
Dan's
or
going to
whatever.
go full right-wing extremist if he ever gets canned
That's
from here.
exactly what I'm going to do.
And then
Right-wing extremist.
He's going to be accused of taking money from Qatar.
They told me to say Cutter. How was the Monty? Whatever. How was the Monty Fritz thing last night?
It was great, man. It was a packed house.
Was
it? There's like some debate online that somebody in John Rose's camp, he denies being in John Rose's camp, but he came in early and snapped a photo before people were in their seats.
Oh, did they do that tired old trick?
And it was like, the event is empty. It's like, no, there was hundreds of people there. Like, that room was full.
I've seen pictures. I think, I don't know, maybe somebody posted it, and that room was impressively full.
It was awesome. The energy was high, man. People were really excited. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of fun. Monty is just a great guy, and I really do like him. But we got some options. I'll support any Republican that wins the primary.
Well, I think we all know that Monty's a good guy.
Yeah.
We do. We know that Monty's a good guy.
I heard you say that you think he really took off after the medical marijuana thing.
I think so. Am I wrong on that?
I think that was one of the catalysts, but I think that over the past few months, his social media strategy has just gotten way more savage, and it's really spoken to the Gen Z and millennial voters. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably been a bigger influence than the medical marijuana.
It could be a combination. I kind of disagree with you. Like, I think that two things can be true. I stood up and paid attention when he said that he would legalize medicinal marijuana. That got my attention. If I'm not interested in him as a candidate, I don't care necessarily about his social media. But when he said that, it got me thinking about that topic again. And so that's when I started paying more attention to Monty Fritz. But maybe you're right.
A lot of these guys they have very similar, ideologies. So it's like we have to find those differentiators.
Well, that's the thing. With Monty Fritz, for me, that was one of the things that was like, okay, that is a serious difference between the other two.
Do you want to hear the best line that he dropped last night during his speech?
What?
So he was talking about how the elites are spending the money of our children and grandchildren, and he called them fiscal pedophiles.
Oof. Wow.
But when you think about it, that is hell of a line. You are screwing over our kids with the way you're spending this money.
You are screwing over our kids by spending,
the budget in Tennessee's gone up 59% in the last 6 years.
There was a stat, and I forget what it was, but there was some sort of a stat somewhere, and it talked about how a child born today is already in X number of dollars of debt.
Yep.
When you're coming out of the womb, you know what I mean? Really, really sad. So,
fiscal pedophilia.
Fiscal pedophilia.
It's a hell of a line, isn't it?
I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it. I'm going to be honest.
It stings the ears, doesn't it?
Well, it stings the ears. Pedophilia is not something to mess with.
No, but you're messing with kids the way you're spending this money. And like you said, these kids are they're leaving the womb and they're in debt.
Joan, thumbs up, thumbs down. Fiscal pedophilia.
I like it.
She likes it?
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, Mason, let's do a daily Chris poll. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you approve of the term
fiscal pedophilia?
Fiscal pedophilia. It feels oogie. It stings the ears.
$40 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
You talk about screwing our kids.
It's true. Very true.
That is fiscal pedophilia.
Okay.
But no, it was an awesome event. It was fantastic.
Do a straw poll.
That's hilarious. Somebody said that I needed to say that on stage. We're going to do a straw poll. We're going to release the results. I didn't. I mean, I felt like it was...
How long did you speak for?
I was just emceeing the whole thing, so I was in and out. I thought I was going to have a moment to do a speech. I wrote a speech.
Did you really?
Had a hell of a speech, but then I just took the best parts and inserted it in between speakers.
All right, very good. How many speakers did you have?
We had 5 or 6.
But they didn't allot you time to give a speech?
That's all right.
You were carrying like his entire campaign on your back, Chris Hand.
That's okay. It doesn't... I'm going to choose gratitude, Dan. I was just happy to be a part of it.
Is that what you're going to be like all day? You choose gratitude?
That's what I'm doing. Praise Jesus. I'm just choosing gratitude. There's so many things that you can get upset about in this world, and I'm just not going to do it.
You know, Chris, I don't know if you heard, but you know that there has been $10,000 approved by management to be given away on your show. Did you know that?
You're lying. No. That's a lie.
So
no, you're making it up. This is when I'm going to stop choosing gratitude when you start peeing on me and telling me it's raining.
$10,000 when people hear the phrase that pays.
That's painisbad.com.
You hear
That's painisbad.com.
You hear that, and you're caller number whatever, and you get the $10,000.
You know that we used to do a phrase that pays when I was in Detroit?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And what was it?
More hit music, way less commercials. Detroit's #1 for hit music. 98.7 AMP Radio.
You know...
They're out of business.
You know, that's
painisbad.com.
That's that.
It's a lot simpler to remember. A lot.
It's less bad.
It's less bad.
By the way, just so we're clear, downstairs, I was just kidding. There's no $10,000 for Chris's show or anyone else's.
I knew there wasn't.
Do you know what's so funny? If they gave away $10,000, what would be the first thing we'd ask? Wait a minute, we've been asking for a raise. What the heck?
What about us?
That's exactly right. You know what? If you're caller number 12, I'll split it with you.
Perfect.
Totally kidding.
We should rig the whole thing.
I think we're treading into some very awkward territory.
Is that iffy? Does that get a little hairy with the lawyers?
A little bit. All right, real quick.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay.
Thanks,
Mike.
Mason, did you put that daily Chris poll up?
It's running right now.
What are people saying about
fiscal pedophilia?
Fiscal pedophilia. It feels a little weird to me.
80% for it.
80% for it?
80% for it.
Okay, you know what? I stand corrected.
80% of the time,
Not
it
creepy
works
at all.
every time.
All right, very good. Are you ready to begin your radio broadcast so that I can leave?
And I'm very grateful that you hung out with me.
I'm happy
there would have been a Dan-sized hole in my day.
The good news is that's really kind of small. Let's just move on. Anyway, all right. Am I done? Can I go? You going to throw to spots or whatever?
I feel like we could hang out for a little bit longer. We could push this to the 24.
Chris,
if you wanted to.
I'm literally leaving. I'm unplugging my headphones and I'm leaving. I've got stuff to do today.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you.
All right. Well,
921 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. You've heard me talking about it for the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to tell you, you should have listened. We've been telling you about the big O-Site August events, and we told you that the O-Site VIP experience on Friday the 7th was very limited and was going to sell out, and you didn't listen. It's sold out. But that doesn't mean that you can't get hands-on with the latest in O-Site optics. Just make some plans to attend the free O-Site Day on August 8th at the one, the only Glock Store. This free event is going to have everything: hands-on range time, great O-Site giveaways, exclusive in-store discounts, and free O-Site swag, food trucks, and much, much more. The O-Site Fun starts at 9 a.m. It goes until 6, so make sure you save the date. That's O-Site Saturday, August 8th, and only at the Glock Store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC. If you got some weird smells, bad tasting water, it's leaving stains on your clothes when you wash them, you need to call my friends at Better Water LLC. You can think of it as like installing a giant Brita filter for your entire house, or you can scale one down to fit right under your sink, or you can get one for your whole business. And these guys handle everything. You could have some nasty stuff in your water: sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. Now, here's the best part. If you want to know if you have the nasty stuff in your water or you're good to go, Better Water will test your water for free. You just give them a call and say, hey, can you guys test my water? Chris Hand said you would test my water. And they'll say, right away, sir. Right away, madam, we'll test the water. If you got nothing in there, they'll tell you nothing to worry about. If you do have some of the nasty stuff, they offer a range of options from reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. Better Water has you covered. And these guys are total pros. They've already been treating the water around town. You might have even tasted their work at the local hospitals and the coffee shops because they're total pros. It's great water. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Or you can find them online, betterwater.com.
We've got some potential severe weather headed our way. Some details on that coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joe and Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. What did that guy say at the end of the commercial?
He said yakety sax.
Okay, because I was half listening because I'm still getting ready in here, like getting my stuff together. And I thought he said acne sex.
He definitely did not.
Because that would be different.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It threw me through a loop. I'm trying
So.
to get like the super text line open and stuff because I was late. And then I hear some dude saying acne sex. And I'm like, how did that get on the air? Thanks for clearing it up, Mason.
Happy to help.
We're adamantly anti-acne sex on the Chris Hand Show. Sorry. Is that too much? Maybe it's too much. It's 9:28 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got a lot to get to today. Are the mass deportation numbers really something to celebrate? I mean, let's be honest. The administration is touting record deportation numbers, and they might be hitting some records. But I'm not a mathematician by any stretch of the imagination, but I've done some napkin math here and there. And when I do the napkin math, I'm like, oh, cool. So it'll just take us the next 50 years to get rid of all the illegal aliens in this country. And I just find myself feeling like this isn't good enough. It's not going to cut it. It's just not. And this is by the administration's own account. We also got some updates on the way on the bombing. Are we calling it a bombing? I feel like it's a bombing. The illegal alien. Gabe is back there, who has had a bomb thrown at him, and he's giving me the sign. You would, coming from a guy that's had a bomb thrown at him, it's like meh.
It's probably more of just like they just kind of lit stuff on fire, less of like they blew off a bomb.
Did you see the video of it?
Yeah, like it looked like, I thought it was a chick at first. I didn't even know, which maybe it is a chick, but
we don't
it's
assume
like
genders here on
gasoline.
Yeah, we don't assume genders here on the Chris Hand Show. But I will say this: I'm not a left-wing terrorist, and when I watch some of these videos, I feel like I could do it better. Is that a weird thing to say?
Allegedly.
My whole thing is like, when you pour the gasoline on concrete steps, how long do you expect the fire to last?
I mean, shoot, I don't even know. I think that they were hoping that it would catch other things on fire.
But he missed. There was a bunch of bushes like right next to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have even done it, to be honest.
Well, obviously,
done something cooler.
Obviously.
Allegedly.
But I'm just looking at it. I'm like, they're not sending their best, and then I wonder if that is their best. We'll talk about that. We got some updates on that, and then one of the biggest moments of irony ever. One of the only people injured was a migrant. So, great work, guys. Really, really doing a bang-up job. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's going on in Iran. The Houthis are getting in on the blockade game. We'll talk about that and more on the way. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The forecast is calling for partial sunshine today and a high in the mid-90s. That heat index, though, between 105 and 110. And then We've got thunderstorms arriving around supper time. Stefano DiPietro tells us there's a chance that these storms could also bring some flooding.
The National Weather Service issued a flood watch that goes into effect at 6 o'clock this evening until 7 o'clock on Wednesday morning for a good chunk of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, including Nashville, Murfreesboro, Cookeville, Livingston, down near McMinnville, Lawrenceburg, Centerville, as far west as Waverly. This is because of very slow-moving downpours.
Yeah, to keep it here, we will stay on top of the weather developments all throughout the day today. The Treasury Department is reporting this morning that it has blocked nearly $100 million in taxpayer money from going to dead people. That's because Treasury just implemented a payment verification process that flagged, in particular, Social Security payments that were being paid to people who had already passed away. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calling that program a success. He said it delivers on a key promise of President Trump's mandate to stop improper payments. And the Charlie Kirk Memorial Highway signs that were set up along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Sumner County are being moved now. News 2 says some veterans weren't happy with those signs.
Sumner County Commissioner Jeremy Mansfield announced the signs removal on social media, saying, quote, State Route 386 has always been Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, dedicated to the 25 Sumner County service members who gave their lives in Vietnam. Many of our Vietnam veterans were angry and frustrated to see this designation placed on ground set aside to honor their brothers in arms.
The Charlie Kirk signs are being moved now to Long Hollow Pike in Goodlettsville. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. And when my wife and I need to clean the carpets, because inevitably they get dirty when you got 4 kids and 2 dogs, we like to call the guys that are the Maha of the carpet cleaning experience. It's our friends at Zero Res. They don't use harsh chemicals. They don't leave soap residue behind. They just clean your carpets with their exclusive ZR water, which is honestly the best way to go. The carpet's going to look better, feel softer, and dry faster than any cleaning that you have ever done before. And they're going to stay clean longer. And my wife and I were not the only ones noticing. They've got thousands of reviews in Nashville and one of the best ratings in Nashville. Right now, they're running 2- and 3-room carpet specials that you need to take advantage of. So give them a call today, 615-535-9376. That's 615-535-9376. They can hook you up with a special, or they can work up a custom quote for your home. Trust me, if your house looks like mine after the kids run in and out all day long, you're gonna love the guys at Zero Res. ZeroResNashville.com.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I feel like we're just getting into things. So let's reset the table, shall we? Today on the show, we're going to talk about the latest updates in Iran. They're actually asking for a ground invasion, which I don't want to oblige them. I think prosperity nukes would be the far better option, but we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the HOUTHIS. The HOUTHIS are now in the blockade business, and business seems to be booming. We'll also talk about immigration. There is definitely some stories out that give me great frustration, just being perfectly honest. From what we saw with the radical leftist terrorism yesterday in New York City to the actual DHS being like, man, we got record-setting deportation numbers, and the realization that that's great that you're breaking records, it's still not good enough. And I don't have a lot of faith that you're going to get them up when I see facilities like Alligator Alcatraz closing their doors. Just saying. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America. They got some ties to Cuba. I don't know if you know that. They got some Cuba ties.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that. But I do want to begin as we kind of we're resetting the table. Oh, and by the way, Ricochet. I don't know if you're familiar. Ricochet from AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is going to be in. They're in town tomorrow night. And I think this is going to be a cool story, especially if you got young men in your life. How do you become successful and not give up on yourself? This guy was, I don't want to say floundering in the WWF, but he wasn't a main event player, and then he bet on himself. He went to another company, and now he's a big-time star in that company. And the conversation we're going to have is just about, putting in that work, betting on yourself, how to defy the odds, how long it takes to become an overnight success, all that kind of stuff. I think it'll be a really cool interview, even if you don't like wrestling. But if you don't like wrestling, I don't know. I think there's something more wrong with you than with me. I'm a wrestling guy. But I do want to begin with the Monty Fritz rally last night. Had the honor of being the MC at the rally in Lebanon. Gabe was there, and it seems to me like there are a lot of people trying to besmirch the rally on the internet. And it's bad when even a guy like Michael Lofty from AFP, who, I don't know, I have my feelings about the organization. I honestly have my feelings about Michael, but whatever. Even he, who's absolutely in the tank for Marsha Blackburn. I mean, you've heard the commercials. Thanks, Marsha. Thanks, Marsha. Even Michael Lofty was like, dude, you're literally posting a photo from before the show. And I'm like looking to my left, and it feels like the meme from the Lord of the Rings. And it's like, oi, I never thought I'd be fighting side by side with a Blackburn supporter. And then Lofty looks at me, he's like, aye, but what about a friend? And I'm like, we shake hands. You know what I mean? Because he was like, no, dude, you posted a photo from before the rally started of an empty room and said nobody showed up, so you left. And there were hundreds of people there. The energy was super high. Am I wrong? Gabe was there. Co-sign this for me. The energy was high. People were excited to have Fritz in the building in Lebanon last night. Correct? Gabe doesn't lie. So
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to turn on the microphone.
He's been training with Mason for only 3 weeks.
Well, no. Listen, I did have a 2-week hiatus. But no, yeah, the energy was very high last night. Everybody was very excited, especially for the performances, and the other speeches, which were pretty cool. And it filled out. I mean, by the time that 6 rolled around, every seat was filled.
Yeah,
essentially, yeah.
It's a big room. And there was a lot of people in there. It's the same room. If you ever went to our election night party in 2024, it's the same room, Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon. The staff there was great. I mean, all the volunteers are fantastic. Huge shout out to the volunteers. And I made the point. Blackburn and Rose, they certainly have a lot of money, but Fritz has a lot of volunteers, man. And I made this point last night. It's going to be hard to compete with the money. And that's just a reality in politics. It sucks, but it's a reality we have to face, right? I wish that we could salary cap politics in political campaigns the same way that we salary cap sports. I think it would solve a lot of the issues. I don't think anybody would ever vote for it. But I think it would be kind of the way to do it. Like, what if you capped every race at $1 million? What if you capped every primary race at $500,000? I think it would make candidates have to get a lot more creative and have to actually go meet the people.
Yeah, I think it would be better if primary specifically had caps. I would hold a different opinion for like a national election, personally.
Well, that's fair. But money isn't everything at the end of the day as well. So, I mean, you can look at a primary where John Cornyn spends $90 million to Ken Paxton's, what was it, like $20 million? And Paxton mops the floor with them.
So Ken Paxton's the GOAT, though.
But he also has a lot of skeletons in his closet.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. But, you know, I would say that I'm a fan. Whenever I lived in Texas, you know, I'd met him, and I'd say that, you know, he was doing a pretty good job. He was at least doing some of the right things. You know, nobody has no skeletons.
But when you overcome $90 million spent against you in a primary race, I mean, it shows that money isn't everything. And the point I made last night was that if you want Monty Fritz to win the primary, it's you almost have to deploy the same strategy that Charlie Kirk deployed during the 2024 election, and not like going after mail-in ballots, which was, I mean, it was a big part of it in like Wisconsin and some of these swing states, but it's going after the low propensity voters who agree with you, right? It's going after the people who are like, yeah, that sounds great. I do like a guy that's for medical marijuana and for raw milk and for getting rid of the flock cameras. I'm actually a fan of this. It's getting that guy to the ballot box. It's getting that lady to the ballot box. And I made the point last night, if you like Monty Fritz, it needs to be a team win, and you need to go through your phone book and just send out a massive amount of texts to like everyone. And then you need to follow up. That's the only way Monty's going to get across the finish line. I happen to think that it's a lot closer than the polls are showing, but the polls will tell me that he's in a distant third. I just have a hard time believing that, especially when it feels like there's people in John Rose's orbit who are going to Monty Fritz rallies to take pictures of empty rooms and then say, see, nobody cares about Monty Fritz. And then even the Blackburn people are like, bro, what are you doing? What? That's not reality.
Is the goal right now, is it win outright for the Fritz team, or is it make it to a runoff?
There is no runoffs in Tennessee.
No runoff.
So, yeah, you got to win. I mean, the primary is the general.
Okay.
Early voting is going now through August 1st, and then you have the primary day on August 6th. So that's it. I mean, you have a window of opportunity here over the next, 10 days or so, where you can really make an impact going through your phone book if you happen to be a Fritz guy. I mean, to be fair, you can make an impact doing that, whether you're a Fritz guy or a Rose guy or a Blackburn lady, you know, whatever you like. Getting low propensity voters out is an absolute recipe for success. So I've been working the phones. I've been texting people. People be texting, whether you know that or not. They do. They do be texting. Gabe is still in trading mode. He's like frantically looking. You'll find them, and then you'll know where they are. It'll be fine. In my best Jasmine Crockett voice, people will be texting. But no, the rally last night was awesome, man. And Fritz is an absolute beast. He's got a lot of energy. I don't think he sat down once the entire night. When other speakers were speaking, Fritz was working the room, and he was making the rounds. And I got a lot of respect for Monty. I really do. I'm a big fan of what he's doing. Obviously, you guys know that. I'll support any of the Republicans that make it through the primary. And I think that that's something that we all need to acknowledge. Like, I wouldn't sit home just because Monty Fritz loses. You know? And you found it. But Gabe is very excited. Just hit it. Just hit
People
it.
be texting.
Thank you. It's you know, you're going to the lightning round school of hitting hotkeys. But one of the things I like about Fritz is he's the only voice speaking out against flock cameras. That's it. He is one of one. I mean, you can make the same argument for medical marijuana. I don't necessarily think that is the biggest issue that we're facing. But the flock cameras, I think it's a slow walk into communism. They didn't get the social credit system in China overnight. And people will say, bro, They're just doing it for our safety, bro. You wouldn't want someone to steal a car, dude. You wouldn't want the police to not be able to find somebody that was kidnapped, bro. And I'm like, okay, but it just feels like the old saying: if you sacrifice liberty for temporary safety, you deserve neither liberty nor safety. And I saw a story here. There's actually a Twitter account that I just started following, the real D-Flock, and they're posting horror stories. This is from September 30th, 2025. You ready for this? A Flock vice president logged into Dunwoody PD's Flock system and looked at a camera in the children's gymnastics room of a private community center here in Dunwoody. He did not look at any other cameras in the entire 400-camera network that day. The community center shared their cameras directly to the PD under the pretense that access was solely for real-time critical incident response. Flock and Dunwoody elected officials both say this was for a sales demo they claim was part of authorized activity approved under the city's demo partner agreement. The problem is that the city cannot provide any information that the demo partner agreement exists. What kind of sales demo would require looking at one camera in a children's gymnastics room? They're just for our safety, bro. You wouldn't want to be unsafe, would you? This Twitter account is unbelievable. Dozens of horror stories. Let's go to, where did this happen? Costa Mesa. This is Costa Mesa in California. A growing coalition of Costa Mesa residents have been speaking out against automated license plate readers used to track vehicles and potential criminals after a police officer used the cameras to stalk women, including romantic rivals, an ex-girlfriend, and his wife. They're just for our safety, bro. I saw it, and I like Cam. I like a lot of his takes, but I saw him post, Cam Higbee on X. I saw him post the other day. He's like, right-wingers are falling for the leftist psyop that Flock cameras are bad. And I'm like, no, I don't need to fall for a psyop. I just need to look at the stories. The stories are bad enough. Costa Mesa has a contract with Flock to operate 46 cameras across town. They're strategically positioned to monitor entry and exit points throughout the city and aid criminal investigations, according to the staff report included with the agenda for the city council's meeting tonight. The cameras are also used to recover stolen vehicles, apprehend wanted suspects, and locate missing persons. But residents are voicing a growing resentment towards the cameras, citing concern about the privacy of the data scanned by the cameras and who's accessing the information. In February of 2026, members of the community expressed comments at the city council meeting regarding security breaches and misuse of the Flock public safety system. Based on the concerns of the public, the Costa Mesa Police Department will address community concerns regarding the use of Flock technology and safeguards in place to protect privacy. And they went on to talk about how a police officer was using the Flock cameras to stalk his romantic partners and his wife. And that, I don't know, I don't feel safer because of that. Do you feel safer because of that? I don't like that at all. They're just for our safety, bro. Just chill. Don't worry. You wouldn't want somebody to steal a car, would you? Okay. I get it. Like, I understand that finding missing persons, finding missing kids is a huge priority. So is protecting our future kids and our grandkids down the road from slow walking into a communist dystopian technological wasteland. And I feel like these cameras are doing that. It's drip, drip, waterfall. And once it's off, there's never going to be reeling it back in. And I say all that to say this. Monty Fritz is the only one in the primary race who's saying he would use the power of the governor's office to dial these Flock cameras back and essentially get rid of them. He's the only one. We were going to have John Rose on the show today. He was on with Matt yesterday. I heard that they had a spicy interview. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I will. And I think you should too. It's podcast. I think you should get all the information that you can on all the candidates. Dan did a great series of interviews with all three candidates that have been podcasted. Murphy has had everybody on. It's all been podcasted. I've had everybody on. It's all been podcasted. Like, you should learn about these candidates. Do your own research. John was going to be on today. They said at the last minute they had to do some stuff in D.C. I'll take him at his word. I don't know why that they would fib about something like that. I believe him. And I would say, I was talking with the guys. They're like, "Oh, do you think he canceled on you because he heard you doing the Fritz rally?" I was like, "I actually don't think that at all." John Rose, to his credit, doesn't seem afraid to answer any questions at all. So I was looking forward to having him. We'll get that rescheduled. Marsha Blackburn, as always, is always welcome on the show. I would love to ask her some questions. I mean, I honestly would. But I don't know. Maybe she'll be able to make time after the primary. We'll see. Lot to get to. We'll talk about immigration numbers. Record deportation numbers on the way. And why I'm left feeling a bit underwhelmed. It's 9:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And a little behind-the-scenes look, right? Like every couple of weeks, I'll reach out to their guy, Brock, over there who does the marketing, and be like, what do you need me to talk about? What great deals do you have on plumbing? What great deals do you have on HVAC units? They always have something going on. They always have a great deal. And that's not missing today. They have tons of great deals. But he said, don't talk about the deals. Talk about something a little bit more important. I was like, okay, go on. He said, we're having a back-to-school drive. And there are a lot of kids in the community that need some essentials to get them ready for the school year, and Busy Bee is stepping up to fill that gap. And they're greasing the wheels for you. They need the community's help. And if you help out, you donate some school supplies, you'll receive a $50 off coupon for any service that you might need at your house. Now, here are the supplies that we need. Notebooks, glue sticks, calculators, pencils, crayons, backpacks, scissors, folders, tissues, hand sanitizer. You've had kids or you have kids. You know what they need. So when you're doing your back-to-school shopping, grab some extra supplies and bring them down to Busy Bee. They're doing this through the first weekend in August. Right now, you can drop them off at Busy Bee's headquarters, which is at 137 Southside Park Drive in Lebanon, Tennessee. You get the school supplies, you bring them to 137 Southside Park Drive in Lebanon, Tennessee. You can find more information online, busybeehvac.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. But we have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Sweltering temps and a high heat index today. That's what we've got coming our way.
Heat advisories are in effect for most of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, but far northwest Middle Tennessee and southwestern Kentucky are under an extreme heat warning. Those are the areas the heat index could soar over 110. A lot of the rest of us should be around 105 to 110 through the rest of today.
Channel 4 Stefano DiPietro there. He also says we'll have possible strong storms that arrive around supper time this evening, moving down from the north. Now, they may stall over the area and drop a lot of rain, so there is a potential for flooding as well. Keep it here. We will keep you posted. 2 people died on Sunday night when a tree fell on top of a car in Franklin. Channel 4 spoke to a nearby resident, Miss Jackson, who said she heard the crash.
And I looked to make sure that my tree was standing. And then I saw the car with a great big old tree on the top. I was praying. I was hoping that they survived. And I discovered later on that they didn't.
Now, the couple who died have been identified as Georgette Arena and Stephen Lindstrom. Tropical storm Bertha has formed, but it may not be a big threat.
This morning, the 50-mile-an-hour winds of Tropical Storm Bertha are centered 100 miles southwest of Panama City, Florida. Tomorrow afternoon, Bertha is expected to make its first landfall near the mouth of the Mississippi River, dragging along the Louisiana coast and weakening before wandering back into the Gulf. Models suggest it will make a second landfall Friday morning on High Island, Texas, as a tropical depression.
That is ABC's Jim Ryan. The Supreme Court set to weigh into the bans on some of the most popular firearms in the country. The High Court is deciding whether bans on the sale of AR-15 and similar weapons are constitutional under the Second and 14th Amendments. Now, this comes after a federal appeals court on Friday ruled that New Jersey's assault weapons ban is unconstitutional. The U.S. has a new 50% tariff on some Canadian goods. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer saying that it comes after Canada banned the sale of U.S. liquor on its store shelves, capped and limited autos that could be shipped from the U.S., and limited market access for U.S. dairy.
They give other countries better deals on each of these 3 issues, and so it was a natural consequence after a year of these measures being in place, and longer in the case of dairy, for the president to take action. These are responses to this retaliation. We've been asking for a year for the Canadians to remove these, to modify them, to adjust them. They haven't done that. And so we have a tailored action that covers a subset of Canadian goods.
Greer on CNBC this morning. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is saying those tariffs are a direct violation of the USMCA trade agreement. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You say one little thing about flock cameras, just one little thing, and everybody loses their mind. I got a message from Kirk on Twitter. He's been going off on me for a while about the flock cameras, but he came back at me today. Said, "I've decided today you're an idiot and obviously a pothead." We're already in the police state, you moron. Catch up. If you're not an idiot, then you're a pawn. So I'm not, we're already in the police state. So more surveillance is a good thing, right? I should just bend the knee to the communist dystopian future that we have in front of us with all of these AI-powered cameras that are being put up everywhere. No, I won't. I actually think that they're a terrible thing. And I don't like them at all. And I'm not sure how any Americans are willing to sacrifice their liberty when it comes to these flock cameras. And I do believe this is going to be one of the biggest political fights in front of us, along with universal basic income. And we're going to be up against communism. We're seeing it everywhere with the Democrats, Socialists of America. And I don't know why you'd be for them. I honestly don't. 615-737-9986. David in Middle Tennessee wants to talk about the flock cameras. What's up, Dave? How are you? Oh, you put David up on the board?
Thanks for taking my call.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, doing good. Thank you for taking my call, Chris. I understand. I would never call you an idiot. Obviously, you have your opinion about these flock cameras, and I just kind of wanted to call in and give you a operational overview, I guess, on my specific department's policy on how we use those. But going back to
just to kind of set the table, though, you are in law enforcement.
Yes, that's right.
Because you said your specific department. So I'm just, and you don't have to tell me what department. I just kind of I want to make sure that we got your credentials on the table. What do you do in law enforcement?
Just traffic enforcement.
Okay, cool. Well, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so when flock cameras were actually brought to our department, I could definitely see the concerns. I mean, when they came and and you get your login and you're able to, at the time you were able to get in and log into a certain camera, and it's not really a live view of things. Regular patrolmen don't have a live view of real-time activity of being able to look at cars coming in and out. However, it does, it takes a picture of the car and it takes a picture of the license plate or whatever, but it doesn't give any information at all on the vehicle. So after some time had come in, our department actually instituted a general order on how we are able to use the resource of flock. And so now if you go to the login page, if there's some criminal investigation or something that's going on, you actually log into the flock page and you have to enter a case number or a call for service number that's associated with your inquiry that you're looking up. So there's been an instance where there was a pedestrian in Walmart that was struck by a vehicle and had fled the scene. All they said it was a white Acura or a white SUV. I can actually go into the flock system and enter in what my case number is associated to what the comm center gave me, and I can filter out if they gave a description as an Acura, so I can type in or just a white SUV. It'll actually pull up only what white SUVs were in the area between 6 hours ago, 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago, and the information is is lost beyond a certain point. It's filtered out. And but yeah, I mean, it's actually.
I mean, I don't know if the information's ever going to be lost as we continue down this road with the more data centers being propped up. And I don't necessarily think that all cops are going to be misusing this, but we have documented cases where police officers are using it to track their romantic partners. They're tracking their wives, and that might. I mean, listen, that might be the exception for right now. But don't you see how this could be building the infrastructure, and that if the government was to change hands to a more radical government, how this could be used against the citizens of America?
I certainly do. But luckily I work for an agency that's extremely, where our bedrock is our state constitution and the United States Constitution. Very aware of our responsibilities not to misuse that system. However, that general order that came out, it's very clear. If you misuse that flock system, your employment's probably most definitely going to be terminated. Because it's no different, than me going out and misusing. If I'm out on patrol and I see, a family member, let's just say a family member that I know and I've got beef with, and I go and I want to check and see if they've got warrants, if I want to check and see if they, and I'm basically using, the TOUS system, running queries off their driver's license for no reason. Oh yeah, I'm probably going to get terminated for that too. So, but yeah, I know that a lot of agencies, not just mine, have the same general order that if you misuse the system, and your IT department's going to find out.
But I just feel like I feel like it's naive to see how quickly things ignore how quickly things can change. And I know you're at work, and I appreciate you calling, and I hear the radio in the background, and I appreciate what you do. But if you told a firefighter on September 12th, 2001, that in 25 years the city was going to be run by a communist socialist Muslim mayor, they would have looked at you like you were crazy. So to think that things can't evolve and change over a decade or two as we build out this infrastructure, I think it's naive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
You get where I'm coming from? I mean, I'm not pointing a finger at guys like you who are doing things by the book, but this is going to evolve. The technology is going to get better, and then it's going to be abused. And I don't see any other way that this can happen. And we saw it happen that way in China. I mean, they didn't put up cameras overnight for a social credit system. They put them up for safety. They put them up to catch bad guys. And now they're identifying people by their gait, by facial recognition technology. I mean, they know everything that you do. And if you litter on the sidewalk, you get a ding. So to see all that play out and to not have pause or hesitation about what we're doing in America, again, I go back to the word naive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wouldn't want to be there on the receiving end of misusing that system, especially here in Tennessee.
Well, I'm sure that I'm sure that you could tell me that system is very powerful, and it is very easy to find what you're looking for. Correct?
Well, like I said, yeah, it just takes a snapshot of the vehicle and the license plate. Basically, the officer has to do the rest of the investigating using their query system on their MDTs. To find out who the vehicle's registered to.
But you wouldn't deny that it's very powerful technology.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And in the wrong hands, it could be abused.
It absolutely can, but no more than our MDTs in here. If you're query certified, you can have the ability to run driver's license, name and date of birth, stuff like that. That's been going on for years too, and has been misused before. With consequences, because they find out because it's an extremely vetted process. But yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Dave, I appreciate the call. I appreciate what you do, man. Let's go to John in Middle Tennessee, who's also in law enforcement. What's up, John? How are you?
Hey, Chris. I wanted to talk about this block system as well. I get everything that you spoke to David about, but we could say the same thing about any, cell phones back, 10, 15 years ago,
But the difference, I would just say the difference with cell phones is that I can choose not to have one, right? That's my choice. I can put it in a Faraday bag and not get dinged by the cell towers. Like there are things that I can do to limit the tracking abilities of that cell phone. I can use a VPN. I mean, there's all sorts of things that I can do. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to defend against my family and I being logged every time we drive to church.
So you're talking about like in the future, this could be used to do certain things. Like, what would be an example of like, I guess what
Oh, I'll tell about this. It was just a couple of years ago where the Biden administration were calling parents at school board meetings domestic terrorists. So if you can classify a parent at a school board meeting a domestic terrorist, why can't you justify the use of this technology to keep tabs on these said domestic terrorists?
I'm sure there's hundreds of different ways that the government. So a lot of people, I'm not saying you in particular, but like a lot of people like watch, CSI Miami and all these crazy shows where they can enhance a photo 150 times, and maybe the government can do it, but us lowly patrol officers just trying to get the best, because we're always one step behind any other like criminals and stuff like that. We're always trying to play catch up.
But my issue isn't with you per se, John. My issue is that we're building out this infrastructure that can then be misused and abused within a 5 to 10 year time period. And we were just in an administration where kids were getting kicked out of pizza restaurants in New York because they weren't vaccinated. They didn't have their vaccination cards. We were just in an administration that locked down the entire country and crushed small businesses. And we saw what they did in Australia, where they were tracking everybody, man. If you had gone a certain distance away from your house, you were getting a knock on the door. So like to say that this couldn't unravel into a dystopian future, I mean, they were going after Catholics. Catholics were labeled domestic terrorists. Like that was just a couple of years ago.
I understand that, but I do this job every day, and to hear, so for example, if you had your vehicle stolen today, right? And let's say, I don't know exactly where you live, but let's say you lived in Williamson County, all right? And you had your vehicle stolen in Williamson County. Well, what Williamson County would do is they'd come out, get your information, and they would issue a BOLO for your vehicle. Hey, this, truck's been stolen.
Yep.
Well, they'll usually send it out to surrounding counties. Now, without Flock, I would get a notice saying, hey, this vehicle's been stolen. I may write down your plate number, vehicle description, all that stuff, and then if I don't see it coming through my town today, I got other stuff going on, other calls, it becomes back burner. Like I don't think about it anymore.
So you want me to sacrifice liberty so that you can potentially get my car back?
Well, it's not just that. Like you say that, but I mean, we deal with stolen vehicles all the time. And boom, we get it.
And it's a tale as old as time. Since cars were invented, cars have been stolen. So why can't we have some technology to help us get ahead of it? Because the infrastructure that's being built out and how it's going to be able to be partnered with AI is dangerous.
Well, why don't we make regulations on that versus nixing the whole thing and us going back years.
Why can't cops just do cop work like they have done for decades?
We do cop work, but
you're telling me now that you can't find my car unless you have a Flock camera.
I'm not saying no, not necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it makes it easier so that we don't have to constantly just be looking for it when got other things going on.
I love police officers. I respect what you guys do. But, like, my job as the citizen isn't to make your job easier.
Well, that's like saying, all right, you go to Walmart or something, they have self-checkouts and stuff to make the cashier's jobs easier.
I mean, it's actually to take jobs away from cashiers, which I'm also not a fan of. But go on.
Well, I understand that. I get that. But I'm just giving an example. Like, we got to innovate a little bit.
All right, you actually bring me to an interesting point. So for a guy like you, I get Flock cameras up in my entire town. I can now do with what used to be 20 police officers, I can do 10. So are you willing to take the easier path to find a stolen car because you have a Flock camera and see 10 of your fellow officers lose their jobs because they're not needed anymore? Because that's the route. That's absolutely the route you're going down. If you want these cameras on every corner, you're not going to have any crime to patrol.
There's plenty of crime to patrol.
Well, I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I think we are at a fundamental disagreement here. It seems like you want me to sacrifice the liberty, and I'm not willing to cede that ground because we have very recent history of what an administration looks like when they're putting their thumb on people, and I'm not a fan. We also have current history, current day times with communist-style governments, and we see what they do with this kind of technology, and I'm not a fan. So it's going to be really hard for you to talk me into this. And so far, your arguments, I don't necessarily love them. I don't even really agree with them.
I get what you're saying on your points, but when we have citizens that have people getting hit and then and other drivers taking off, or we've had burglaries where vehicles have taken off, and we're able to locate this stuff and bring justice to these victims, when you're on that side of it, then maybe you'd see the difference. I don't know what to tell you, but cameras do help.
So again, it's sacrifice liberty for temporary safety.
There's got to be a happy medium in there somewhere.
I don't know. I've yet to see it. But John, I do appreciate your call, and I appreciate you giving me another perspective. Thank you so much, and thanks for what you do, man. I really do appreciate you. Let's go to Bradley in Gallatin. What's up, Bradley?
Hey, Chris. I am a little surprised to hear that you're a defund the police guy.
What do you mean? I literally just made the point that if we put flock cameras up on every corner, we're going to be able to downsize these police departments. I like police officers.
Well, and I'm also a police officer, but as far as, some of the smaller departments, yeah, maybe you could downsize some. But in the larger departments, they're already understaffed. And all this is technology. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. And if we're going to start saying police are only allowed so much, I guess the question becomes, where is that line? I mean, do we take back fingerprinting? Do we take back DNA? Do we take license plates off cars?
Well, the difference with all of the difference with all of those is that you need to have charged me with a crime. You need to have suspicion of me doing a crime. These flock cameras, these flock cameras are a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
In what way? What privacy rights do you have in public?
You're tracking me everywhere I go, and I didn't consent to that.
What stops a police officer from following you around everywhere you go?
You tell me.
Nothing. There's nothing that stops a police officer from following you everywhere you go.
There would be no issue with that if a police officer followed me to work every morning and then followed me home from work every morning.
Correct. It is perfectly legal.
Every single day? There'd be no issue with that?
It is perfectly legal. It is perfectly legal. The issue would be it's not efficient.
Okay.
The issue would be, what's the point? Now, if you were a criminal and an officer followed you every day.
Do you have kids, Bradley?
I do.
Okay, so when you see a Biden government calling parents domestic terrorists because they don't like what's being taught at their school and they're going to the school board meetings to speak up for it, and you see this infrastructure that we're building out, do you not see how this could descend into something completely different than what you're arguing for?
I do, but what stops the government from doing that already? Because like you pointed out, the Biden government already did. The question is not what technology can and can't do. It's a question of how do you keep the police honest? How do you keep the federal government honest? To me, it doesn't matter what technology they have. If they're honest or not, that's a whole separate question. It's a tool like anything else. Guns, cars, like I said, DNA, fingerprinting, all that can be misused. What keeps the police honest now? Why is that stuff not being abused more than it is now? And what happened when it did get abused during the Biden administration?
But these cameras are already being abused. I mean, there's multiple cases of these cameras being abused.
Right. And are they not being dealt with? Are people not being held accountable and being fired? And
would there be the abuse if there weren't the cameras?
But that brings me back to my point. What other systems are you wanting to take away from police?
I didn't say
for abuse.
I mean, I feel like that's a logical fallacy to say I want to take away fingerprinting and I want to take away DNA because I don't want to be tracked everywhere I go.
But your argument is that it can be abused, so why let the police have it? If that's your argument, what other tools are you wanting to take away?
Do you have cases of fingerprints being abused? Do you have cases of DNA evidence being abused?
I don't have personal knowledge of that, but I know that is a concern of people, especially with DNA. Not fingerprinting per se, but especially DNA.
I haven't heard it.
Well, that was one of the arguments in the OJ case.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Yeah, okay. If only there were flock cameras. If only there were flock cameras, right?
That the blood was planted.
Okay.
And as far as the flock cameras go, I mean, are you taking cameras away from businesses? Because the whole purpose of flock is that police can access cameras easier and more efficiently. It doesn't take the cameras away. All it does is make the detectives go out and physically get the video from the stores.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan. Like nothing you've said has sold me on it. In fact, I'm actually even more against it after this call. But I do appreciate what you do, Bradley, and I thank you for the call. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. A lot of people want to weigh in on flock. I'm here for it. I really am. Let me tell you about my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. If you're noticing cracks in your walls, uneven floors, or a driveway that's starting to sink, that's not just a home issue. That's a peace of mind issue. And who you trust to fix it matters. This is why I recommend United Structural Systems. They've been doing this the right way since 1994, right here in Tennessee. No scare tactics, no quick fixes, just real inspections, honest answers, and solutions that are built to last. Now, they're not going to send a sales guy to your home worried about his quota. They're going to send an expert. So whether it's foundation repair or crawl space issues or concrete leveling, you're going to get somebody that's bringing engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. And again, if you don't need the work, that's what they say. Right now, they're offering a ton of financing options so you can get it fixed today while it could still relatively be inexpensive and pay for it later. Don't wait because waiting could always cost you more. Call USS right now, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Now, the forecast is calling for partial sunshine today and a high in the mid-90s. The heat index, however, between 105 and 110. Thunderstorms should arrive around supper time, and Stefano DiPietro says there's a chance these storms could bring some flooding.
The National Weather Service issued a flood watch that goes into effect at 6 o'clock this evening until 7 o'clock on Wednesday morning for a good chunk of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, including Nashville, Murfreesboro, Cookeville, Livingston, down near McMinnville, Lawrenceburg, Centerville, as far west as Waverly. This is because of very slow-moving downpours.
Now, keep it here. We'll stay on top of the weather developments all throughout the day. The Treasury Department is reporting this morning it has blocked nearly $100 million in taxpayer money from going to dead people. That's because Treasury has implemented a payment verification process that has flagged, in particular, Social Security payments being paid to people who had already passed away. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calling the program a success that delivers, he says, on a key promise of President Trump's mandate to stop improper payments. The Charlie Kirk Memorial Highway signs that were set up along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Sumner County are being moved. News 2 says some of the veterans weren't happy with those signs.
Sumner County Commissioner Jeremy Mansfield announced the signs removal on social media, saying, quote, State Route 386 has always been Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, dedicated to the 25 Sumner County service members who gave their lives in Vietnam. Many of our Vietnam veterans were angry and frustrated to see this designation placed on ground set aside to honor their brothers in arms.
The signs are being moved instead to Long Hollow Pike in Goodlettsville. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you have been looking at the calendar and thinking to yourself, fall's almost here, open enrollment is coming, I can finally get health insurance again, you know you don't actually have to wait, right? Like, that's what the big insurance companies want you to think. That's a myth. It's a common misconception. You can get insurance today. Great health insurance with no waiting and no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, Shane can get you covered. You're sick of overpriced junk insurance or want to ask the question of an expert, is my insurance junk and overpriced? Well, you're in the right place. You can talk to Cover Nash today. They partner with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250. Flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care. Whether you're an individual, you got to cover the whole family, you're self-employed, or you have a small business and some employees, Shane can help you out. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. You go to covernash.com or you call 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Get health insurance on your terms, not the government's. Covernash.com.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress, but one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in Nashville, or call 615-733-8168 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local.
"36 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I got a text here. It was on Twitter, at Chris Hand on air, if you want to follow me and send mean DMs. Those are my favorite. Those are the ones I like the most. But it was my friend Kirk again. Dude, I've lost a lot of respect for you. You're doing all this for what? Money, Fritz? Because he knows Christian buzzwords and wants to legalize pot? No. Actually, my anti-flock camera stance has nothing to do with Monty Fritz. It just so happens that our views align on that. And no, my support for Monty Fritz isn't just pot. And my anti-flock camera stance has a lot more to do with the dystopian future that could be coming to our kids and grandkids if we let this continue. I'm against a CCP style social credit system, and I don't know how you can watch them build out the infrastructure for this across the United States and not see that that's the next logical step. And police officers will call in and say, we don't abuse it. And I say, but you see the ability to abuse it? Well, yeah, sure. Okay. What do you think? 615-737-9986. Let's go to William on the road. Wants to talk about flock. What's up, Will?
Man, Chris, I love your show. I do, man. I have loved your show from the very beginning. But I was actually stopping myself from yelling at my stereo because it become ridiculous. I look like an idiot yelling at my stereo while you're talking about this. I don't mean to make you yell at your stereo in traffic. We probably came from the same type of parent upbringing, and it's where locks keep an honest man honest. I will say this. I understand what you're saying. There has to be control there, but my family is not in law enforcement, but my oldest daughter has become a sheriff's deputy. My youngest daughter has become a sheriff's deputy. I believe, in all honesty, that there are honest officers out there who will not abuse the system. But I believe what would change your mind in a heartbeat of a second is if someone came into your house and hurt your family, and there's a camera, an officer says there's a camera right there, but we're not going to use it because we've listened to your show. You will instantly regret your thoughts on those cameras.
So here's my thing. My family's responsibility is my family's responsibility. And if I want to install cameras on my home, that's my choice. But allowing the government to be able to know every intimate detail about my life as they stitch together millions of these snapshots and they game plan it out over 10, 15 years, and then they know every intimate detail about my children's life, who they hang out with, where they go on Wednesday night, what they're doing on Thursday night, and they're able to like have this predictive programming of where they're going to be. That is a much more immediate risk to me than the off chance that someone comes in my home and doesn't get shot in the mouth.
Right. And I understand what you're saying, and you're looking at for your child's future in that response. But at the same time, you have to admit, with you, Chris, right here on this planet Earth right now, this time that we have, if something happens to your family tonight, and you know there's a camera there, tell me you wouldn't use it.
I'd be lying to you if I said I wouldn't. But this argument is not an emotional argument. This is a logical argument. And,
I understand.
And the logical next step of these cameras is a communist dystopian future.
Right, but I yelled at my stereo because it was an emotional moment when it came to knowing that my daughter's lives are on the line every day when they step out of their patrol car.
Well,
I love my kids dearly.
And I respect the hell out of what your daughters are doing. But that doesn't mean that we should make emotional decisions on something as big as this.
I do understand. But just remember that, honest, that likes to keep an honest man honest, and there are people out there that can be honest in our future.
I mean, there are actual like reports. People have done studies that show the flock cameras don't actually significantly reduce crime. Now, people will say, well, those studies are flawed. These studies are better. And I don't really want to get into like study versus study.
No,
but there's evidence out there like criminals are going to do criminal stuff.
Yes. Great show, man. Great topic. I think that this could go on for days, and I can't wait to continue to listen. But thank you. Love your show. Have a great day.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hopefully I don't make you yell at the radio as much in traffic. You'll look insane. I'm just letting you know, Will. If you're screaming at your stereo, people are going to think something's off with you. It's then been captured by a flock camera. Then you're going to be surrounded in traffic. They're going to put you in a 24-hour hold for your mental health. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Let's go to Jim in Tennessee City. Is that where you're at? Ten City? What's up, man?
Hey, enjoy your show. I'm totally against some flock cameras. What can be abused will be abused, and that's just the way it goes. It might be a way to solve crimes quickly, but it absolutely will not be a deterrent, just like the death penalty is not a deterrent or has not been a deterrent. FISA courts also, the surveillance state. I don't want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren living in a world like that.
Amen. I'm with you 100%. I mean, I think this is like one of the big battles that we have in front of us. It's like this, central banking, digital currency, which Trump is against. But, I mean, the cashless society where they can track all your purchases. I mean, all of this stuff is a massive negative in the future.
Right. When you talk about these social credit scores, you also throw in when do these 20-minute cities come in?
Yeah. You're not lying.
And I'm retired law enforcement, and I'm all about our Bill of Rights, but I think this definitely is overstepping that line. I don't want, just like you said, government knowing every intimate detail about our lives.
How long did you spend in law enforcement, Jim?
20 years.
When you hear the police officers that called in earlier trying to make their case for it, what runs through your mind?
I do understand that it is a great tool to solve crimes. It's not going to prevent crimes. I've been retired now for 14 years, and we just used to do it the old-fashioned way. You just keep an eye out. You're going to have machines telling you what to do. I mean, hey, technology doesn't work 100% all of the time.
No,
so, like I said,
you're not lying, and I appreciate the call. And there's been instances where guys are pulled over. They say that they have a stolen car, and it was a false flag. Essentially, the car wasn't stolen. So you have police officers approaching the vehicle, guns out. Like, no, not a fan. Let's go to Dean in Spring Hill. What's up, Dean?
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What's up? Thanks, bud. What do you got?
Yeah, I wanted to start off saying that I respect our police officers. I appreciate what they do, and I pray for their safety. Listening to what they said, I don't disagree with anything they brought up. It is easier, it's quicker, but what they're missing is where it goes from here.
Yep.
And to worry about police officers abusing the system, there's bad eggs in every aspect of human life. There's police officers that stalk their ex-wives or girlfriends, but that's not the typical police officer. And the last couple callers talking about, your grandkids, it's not going to be that far out. When you pair cameras on every corner to AI with all the data centers we're building,
Yep.
they could track anyone from any city, any time of the day. And the thing that you had said before is do they track a Christian church that preaches against the government? Do they track somebody that posts on Twitter or Facebook that I can't stand Biden or I can't stand this? They're instantly red flagged, and AI does all this behind the scenes.
Right.
I'm not worried about a specific police officer using this for nefarious purposes. That's life. That's happened in any job in history. It's the potential of what we can have very soon in the near future with AI controlling all these cameras, watching everyone where they go, who they meet with, and flagging them as a terrorist or an enemy against the state, Chris.
And this is the thing that people are missing. They think we're arguing about current day reading license plates, and I'm arguing against building out this infrastructure and what that looks like down the road.
I'm against, since you brought it up, I'm against the license plate readers, again, for the same point of there's too much information out there, and this will just take it to the nth degree, and it's not going to happen to my grandkids. It's going to happen to my kids or their children, my grandkids.
Well,
technology is not going to wait 50 years.
You're absolutely right. Well,
at the most.
And you're already seeing the way it's deployed in England. They had their ultra low emission zones, where if you drive a car that's a little bit older and you drive through the city of London, that's now considered an ultra low emission zone. So you get a tax in the mail essentially because you're damaging the environment. So now people that can't afford a brand new car are now paying fines because the emissions are too much. I mean, That seems like one of the lesser egregious examples, but it's an example nonetheless of what this looks like game planned out.
You've got northeastern cities. I had to go to Rhode Island for work. I got a ghost speeding ticket and a ghost parking ticket. You can't fight them.
Right. You absolutely can't. Dean, I appreciate the call, man. I got a lot of people to get to. I'm going to keep it moving. Let's go to Bobby in Crossville. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show. I was hoping I was going to be on right after Will there because I do want him yelling at his radio screen a little bit more after what I've got to say here. But just to give you like my demographic, I am wildly conservative, a Christian. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times in the 35 to 40-year-old demographic. And this is probably a hot and unique take, but I think all of these boomer cops and state troopers need to hear it. Cops explaining to me why they need more power to surveil and revenue me is one of the most disgusting things I have to listen to as a conservative.
Policing for profit in general is a disgusting practice.
Disgusting. Police will absolutely be the government foot soldiers of our future oppression. I fully believe that. I've literally had cops tell me they know how to manipulate people to get admissions of guilt out of them or advance unwarranted searches and questionings, not protect an individual's rights. And I've literally seen it used against people close to me. I just think it's entrapment. I think it's gross. I have zero trust for the policing world as a whole. And I don't see as a generally law-abiding citizen how much, I don't see that they do a whole lot of good for me. They're generally, my interactions with a cop is generally going to cost me some money more than likely. Matt Hand in his window tint episode from the other day, like, we've got state troopers out there pulling people over for window tint. Is that literally the best thing that we've got for people? That shouldn't even be a thing. I had a lot of thoughts I noted down. I could go on and on, but I think the thing that people need to bear in mind is that police will absolutely be the government foot soldiers of our future oppression, and we don't need to give them any more power now. And we don't need these cameras. We don't need any more surveillance. We need less.
Before that's taken as like a completely anti-police take, like I am pro-police, But I'm also very aware of the stand down orders they get when there are peaceful protests and how those peaceful protesters never face justice. And if they want to actually reduce crime, like, let's focus on the weak DAs that are letting these repeat offenders out over and over and over again. I think that would be a far more efficient way to reduce crime. And then on the policing for profit thing, like, yeah, I think it's gross. I'm not a fan of policing for profit. I'm not a fan of quotas. And there'll be departments that be like, my department doesn't have a quota. And it's like, okay, I mean,
They do.
They do. And there's definitely revenue attached to it, and they want that revenue. And there's an absolute side of policing that is not exactly in favor of the citizen, the regular citizen.
I just think conservative people need to think this issue through more, because I think we just hop up and down and we're back to blue. And I, as a conservative, my whole life, wildly conservative, I have generally seen the blue do more harm to law-abiding citizens than it's done them good. That's just my take. So,
well, I appreciate your perspective, Bobby. You're welcome to call in any time. Let's go to Chris in the borough. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris. Folks, we've been talking around this a lot. This issue is not a new issue with the flock cameras. This has been an issue since 1791. I mean, the Bill of Rights, the reason we have them is for protection against problems within our government. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean police officers, but this is just one more tool to make it easier to dissolve the rights that are tried to be protected. And
the government's first responsibility is to protect those rights.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And so I feel like we're kind of getting caught up in the minutia of it, and we're missing the big picture. And I really appreciate the fact that you're trying to hold this thing accountable to the big picture. You've kind of quoted Franklin that, if you give up temporary security for freedom for temporary security, you deserve neither. And I think those are not just words. Those are real things that I feel like we feel like it's not. For some people, it seems it's not very immediate to them, and others, it is very immediate. We see it happening all the time, like you're talking about, labeling parents domestic terrorists, and what that implies and what that allows and almost encourages other people to do. It somehow makes it right in some light, and it just isn't.
Well, and then the argument you get is, well, what if it was your child? Wouldn't you want the flock camera to be there to help you? And it's like, okay, like, yeah, like I get that argument. Like, of course I do, but we also became a low trust society because of the failures of this government. The inability to prosecute repeat offender criminals, the inability to secure the border, allowing 20 million plus people that we don't know who they are in this country, electing radical leftist judges and DAs. And it's like the government got us to this point. So we should give them more power.
We send our children off to war to protect those rights.
Yep.
Right? We put our children in harm's way to do that, and we do that. We praise them for it, for their sacrifice and for their bravery. These things require some effort, and if it means that it's a little harder, it's a lot harder perhaps for police officers to do their job or to handle petty crime, then I think let's do it. But I think we need to be real careful about how we use it and these powers that we're just handing over to others flippantly, especially when they're making money on it.
Yeah.
That's my take.
I'm with you, Chris, 100%, and I appreciate the call. It's 10:54. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little
Okay.
further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls, causing issues, settlement, or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, what, 30, 45 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call or reach USSTN.com and
Sure.
schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
This just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt,
All
we
right.
appreciate you.
Another push toward peace in the Middle East as Lebanon's president meets with President Trump. It's coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I think I got time for one more flock camera. Then I do want to get to Tom Homan and the mass deportations that maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Let's go to Carrie on the road. What's up, Carrie? You want to talk flock?
Chris Hand, it was so awesome to meet you last night at the Monty rally.
What's up? It was nice to meet you as well. Give me your thoughts on the flock cameras.
So, my opinion, I think they're unconstitutional for sure. And I think once you cross these lines, they're hard to uncross. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about the protesters. But cops are going to do what they're instructed to do. And I think if we're going to have flock cameras, let's put them on the protesters, the rioters out here causing all this. And Monty said it last night. They're using our tax dollars against us, and people need to wake up.
Yep, I'm with you. Thanks for the call, Carrie. I appreciate you. It was great meeting you last night. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We've got a mixed bag of weather today with excessive heat. Once again, high temps will be in the mid-90s, but the heat index going up to 110 in some places. Then comes the storms. We've got thunderstorms that could become strong today.
The elevated severe weather risk is along and north of Interstate 40. 2 out of 5 on the scale, 1 out of 5 south of Interstate 40 as we go through this evening and early tonight. Very low threat of an isolated spin-up tornado, but it's not necessarily zero. Some storms could have some small hail, but any storm produces very heavy rain, which could cause flash flooding. A couple of storms will have some high wind gusts as well.
Now, as far as the timing goes, Stefano tells us it'll be right about the time you're sitting down for supper. Keep it here for all the latest all day long. Elsewhere in the news, President Trump and Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun in a joint press conference at the White House this morning announcing their effort to deliver peace in the Middle East. Aoun saying peace is finally possible.
By signing the framework with the ultimate objective of ending the state of hostility between Lebanon and Israel forever. I think, Mr. President, this will be your legacy. Together, we'll be able to achieve this objective. It's about time for Lebanon and for the whole region to be stable and secure. And I know your vision is peace, your vision is stability, and I think my vision coincides with your vision. And together, I think we will be able to achieve and to score success in that regard.
On Monday, the State Department announced that Israel is starting to pull its troops out of several villages it has occupied in southern Lebanon. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy says it's time for California and Minnesota to get cracking on Medicaid fraud.
CMS is pausing more than $1 billion in federal Medicaid payments to California and to Minnesota because of suspected fraud and non-compliance. That includes more than $867 million for California and over $200 million for Minnesota. If those states want that money, they need to provide documentation that these payments are legitimate.
Also happening today, the Department of Justice indicting over 400 people on charges of committing over $5 billion in healthcare fraud. And an immigrant from Somalia has been extradited to the U.S. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. All this surveillance, yet we can't seem to track down the Antifa members, the anti-ICE protesters, and they're still lighting fires in New York City. Yesterday, a man with a history of anti-ICE activity set fire outside the immigration court in New York. We have the video of it if you want to see it. It's on Super Talk TV. This guy rolled up. He had a big bucket full of gas, and he poured the gas out, and then he lit it on fire. It was on some cement steps. He almost lit himself on fire. He lit his foot on fire briefly, and then ran away. If you're watching on Super Talk TV on YouTube and Rumble, you'll see the videos of it. I mean, it doesn't seem as bad as it was described initially. Full disclosure. I mean, it's still chaotic. It's still a lunatic doing lunatic things. But you know, we're told that he was immediately apprehended. He was ID'd, the attacker at the 26 Federal Plaza, as Andrew Arabaka. This is from Breitbart News. The alleged 26 Federal Plaza attacker has been identified as Andrew Abaraka. According to law enforcement sources cited by Fox News, the source told Fox that he had allegedly had anti-ICE stuff on him. We saw that on his little wagon that he was wheeling around. It said ICE off our streets. They observed a man armed with a collection of weapons start a fire outside the building with some sort of flammable liquid. The weapons, we later found out, were airsoft rifles. And a couple people have surmised that maybe he was looking for a suicide by cop situation. He wasn't well. I mean, he was an unhinged lunatic. And for somebody that is so anti-ICE, one of the interesting things here is that one of the only people that were injured in the attack was a migrant. Ironic.
His goal was to target the building. He said that and I'm not going to get into all the details of a post-arrest interview, but he was Mirandized, read his rights. He did agree to talk. In that post-arrest interview, he did say he was targeting the building and he was okay if he hurt or killed people going in and out of the building, whether they were federal employees or civilians. I would mention a lot of business was canned, not by the Federal Protective Services. Federal Protective Services, once they mitigated the situation, the building remained open, employees could come and go, and we continue to do work. But some agencies decided to close business for the day. There was a naturalization ceremony scheduled for today that was canceled. And the one civilian victim was an immigrant that had a hearing today for their immigration status. So that's quite unfortunate and quite ironic.
Little ironic. We're fighting for the immigrants. Also, we're hurting the immigrants. You're doing a great job. Tom Homan responded to the attack yesterday, saying this is exactly what I told you was going to happen because of the anti-ICE rhetoric from the Democrats in this country.
Anti-ICE stuff on him. That's about all we know. Can you add any further detail to that? What exactly was the content?
I don't want to get ahead of the FBI in this. I simply don't know. I just got advised of this before I came out the North Lawn. But again, why does he think ICE is bad? Why does he want to attack ICE? Again, because the last year and a half, all he's heard from Democratic members of Congress and sanctuary city mayors and governors is that ICE is not a real law enforcement agency. ICE is separating families. ICE arresting people in churches and hospitals, which is none of it's true. So I'm sure he's been educated by the wrong people, and that's why he's chosen to take action. Because every time they talk about this hateful rhetoric rises, there's that small percentage on the far left who will take some sort of ridiculous action because they feel emboldened because members of Congress are agreeing with him that ICE needs to go away.
I mean, it's not just members of Congress, to be perfectly honest. It's also the media apparatus that is reinforcing this. And even last night on CNN, you get these talking heads that go up there. One of them was Keith Boykin. He's a former Clinton White House aide. And Keith gets on CNN, and he finds out exactly who is truly to blame for this. It's clearly Donald Trump.
This guy, Donald Trump, is responsible for some of the worst, most incendiary, most politically violent rhetoric in our country. So I don't accept this the statement from Scott at all. Violence, political violence is wrong, whether it's left or right. The problem is, I don't know any president on the Democratic side in my lifetime who's ever encouraged political violence. In fact, I don't know any Republican president in my lifetime who's ever encouraged political violence until Donald Trump. We have crossed the proverbial standard here. We've passed the point of no return with Donald Trump. And if we don't call him out for his responsible activities in encouraging this, we're responsible as well.
Do you have any comment on the? Do you have any comment on the actual news story?
I just said I condemn political violence in all situations. What you did is you took this situation and you agreed with Tom Homan's talking point that somehow this is a Democratic case. But the reality is the studies have shown that in the past decade or so, 112 of the past right-wing, of the 112 right-wing murders have taken place. Only 13 have taken place from the left.
So you don't have any comment on this?
No, I just told. What else is there to say except I condemn it, Scott? You want me to say more than that?
Yeah.
What else? You don't say. Hey, you haven't said yet. What did you say about Donald Trump and the January 6th insurrection? The fact that he pardons people. The fact that he actually tried to create a $1.8 billion fund to support those people.
Now, if you're not watching on Super Talk TV, as Keith Boykin, the former Clinton White House aide, goes, "What about Donald Trump?" Scott Jennings just like leans away. He's like, "Dude, chill. Why is this about Trump? Just can anybody tell me why they're enforcing immigration laws that were passed by Congress? So somebody lighting a fire, that's Trump's fault?"
Let me make sure I understand. This deranged anti-ICE leftist tries to blow up the federal office in New York today, and that's Donald Trump's fault. Joe Biden. Nobody said
that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that, you idiot. Scott, nobody said it was Donald Trump's fault. Come on. And if you're in the audience and you're listening and you're thinking, well, they just said that and you heard wrong, obviously. Obviously.
Gave a long speech about it.
Never said that. You didn't listen to a word I said, did you?
No one said that.
Joe Biden doesn't enforce immigration laws, and that's Donald Trump's fault. I'm trying to identify the end of the Choose Your Own Adventure book where it doesn't end with it's Donald Trump's fault. Stephen is right. They did not enforce the law. And you know who will tell you that? Anybody that works for ICE today will tell you when they were working there under Biden, they were told not to enforce immigration law. We haven't passed any new laws, and today we had the 14th straight month of no releases at the border. The border is closed. Not a single new law was passed. The only difference is the feds are enforcing long-standing existing law, and you have Democrats now demonizing the people enforcing it, and you have people like this lunatic showing up trying to blow up the federal building.
He's absolutely right. Scott Jennings just crushing it on CNN. Now another CNN contributor, Sarah Sidner, she suggested that the ICE attack in New York City, well, it's actually, you know whose fault it could have been. If it's not Donald Trump's, everybody knows whose it's going to be. It's ICE's fault. That this was a reaction to ICE's actions, and Scott Jennings didn't give it any time to breathe.
Is it possible that it is the actions of ICE that have people talking like this, not just getting messaging from the Democrats, but seeing what's happening in their communities?
So if you believe that a government agency is doing something that you don't like, and your choices are A, cast a vote, B, use your words, or C, go set off an incendiary device at the federal building in New York City, and you pick C, there's no justification for this. There's no rationalization of it, and that's patently ridiculous if that is what anybody's going to argue tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sarah Sidner, she knew exactly what time it was when Scott Jennings shut her down. She's like, yeah, all right, fair. It's not very often that a Democrat just accepts defeat like that, but she did on that day. Now, while all of this is going on, Tom Homan and the Department of Homeland Security, they're touting a massive number, an all-time record for deportations for the month for DHS. And I don't know, I'd love to get your thoughts on this because I hear the number and it sounds like a big number, but when you game plan it out, I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to do what it needs to be done.
At this hour, we're getting new immigration enforcement numbers, and here are some of the highlights. ICE deportations and removals for the current fiscal year, which began last October, stand now at more than 356,000. That's an average of roughly 1,260 deportations per day. The total number of people in ICE custody now is just under 66,000. Almost 40,000 of those have criminal convictions or pending criminal charges.
So the current deportation numbers for the fiscal year, 356,000. Okay? We got 2 more years left of Trump, 2.5 more years. So let's times that. Let's say we do that again. That would be 890,000 deportations if we kept this pace through the end of Donald Trump's term. Now, I'm not here to say that the men and women of ICE aren't doing everything that they're put out there to do. But 890,000 is peeing in the ocean when you have 20 million illegal aliens in this country. And they're touting these numbers like it's a massive success. They just are. Tom Homan was out there yesterday, and he was on with this was on Fox just a couple days ago, and he said we got 43,138 illegal aliens in June. It's an all-time record.
With all the holdups that the Democrats give us in terms of everything on this president's agenda, including Save America Act, it feels like the one thing that we could possibly carry out beyond just closing down the border, which the president has done and you have done and has been fantastic, is the promise of these mass deportations. Now, there's been rumblings that perhaps now it's just targeted. Now it's just we're going to go after the worst of the worst, which I want them out too, but that perhaps this goal of mass deportations is not the mission anymore under this secretary. So I want to give you a chance to explain to the American people where we are in that process.
Mass deportations is still the plan, but prioritization of the worst of the criminals doesn't mean we forget about everybody else. And let me give you a clear example of where we're at. So 60% of everybody we're arresting right now is a criminal, 40% are non-criminal. So we are arresting a lot of non-criminals. I think 60% criminal, 40% non-criminal is actually better than 40% non-criminal, 60% non-criminal. I just think it's better. But the numbers are what they are now. A few months ago, people were screaming and yelling. The numbers are down. Well, the government was shut down. DHS was shut down. But what happens when we got the reconciliation bill passed? Right now, we're up 40% over last year. So everybody says last year was a good year. It's a historic year last year. We arrested, deported more people than any president in history last year. Right now, we're on a track of beating that by 40% right now. In June, ICE arrested more illegal aliens in June than any month in history. I looked at the number this morning. July looks like it's tracking to beat June. So look, we're hitting on all cylinders right now. We're doing a great job.
But one of the things he doesn't mention is the actual number. It's a lot of percentages. It's a lot of massaging. It's a lot of great records. But they arrested a record 43,138 illegal aliens in June. Data confirms that July might break another record. Okay, so let's say it was 50,000. Let's say we're getting 50,000 illegal alien arrests a month. This is not deportations. That would be 600,000 in a year. Times 2.5. I'm giving 2.5 years left of Donald Trump. I think that's fair. That would be 1.5 million of the 20 million illegal aliens that are in the country, which I think we all know is a gross underestimation of what the actual number is. So while I'm approving of the work of ICE on the ground, these numbers aren't going to cut it. And if you want to hit the goal of mass deportation, something drastically needs to change. And I don't think it's going to happen. Because you see them kind of tensing up anytime something bad happens. I mean, just the other day, when an illegal alien tried to run over an ICE agent and he was shot for doing so, they were like, oh gosh, no more stops, no more stops. That lasted only 24 hours. But if they did what needed to be done, it's going to look a lot messier. And I don't think that this administration is up for the optics battle. I just don't. So I guess the best we're going to get is 1.5 million. 1.5 million deportations when it's all said and done. maybe I'm being a bit too pessimistic, but the hopes and dreams and the big promise of mass deportations, it seems to be blowing in the wind. This is just an objective opinion from the data that's been presented to me. You're touting record arrests at 43,000 for the month. You're telling me that you've deported 356,389 people in the fiscal year, and that is a record. That's not going to get us to where we need to be. And at the same time, they're closing down facilities like Alligator Alcatraz. And it feels like the discussion of opening new facilities has gone by the wayside. So what am I left to think? It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Dr. Kevin Mitchell over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I got to give you my seal of approval on the brand new tech that they got going on over at the Wellness Institute. Nobody can touch what they're doing with the tech. I'm just being honest with you. The brand new Medical Bay 1, futuristic healing machine designed by Dr. Mitchell himself. You're sitting back like you're in an Artemis spaceship, getting a full body massage while red light, near infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells exactly how God designed them to respond. It's going to stimulate your own stem cells for real tissue regeneration at the cellular level. This is epic healing that you can only find at the Wellness Institute. Now, don't forget, they got a lot of other things going on as well. They got the hydrowave machine. They got the non-surgical spinal decompression. What they won't push on you, surgery, opioids, painful injections, just real relief at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Right now, you can take advantage of the Epic Spinal Special, $33 off each visit, and you can launch that pain-free voyage by clicking or calling painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. Go see them. Enjoy the rest of your summer pain-free. Painisbad.com.
All right, drivers, we got stuff in the way. Right now in Avondale, West Trinity Lane between 65 and Monticello Drive north of downtown is blocked. Talbot's Corner, we got a crash. The off-ramp right shoulder is blocked. That's going to be 24 eastbound off-ramp to southbound 65. And we got a lot going on in the weather. We're going to go over all the things coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. It's 11:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. I got these three massive dudes in here from AEW All Elite Wrestling. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony are in the studio. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's up, guys? So, all right. So, I think that I'm a huge wrestling fan. So, I love what you guys do. Big AEW fan. You guys have a show tomorrow night at the Pinnacle in Nashville. What can we expect from the show? Jump in, man. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
No, it's a variety show. It's a variety show. So you got luchadors, you got high flyers, you got people like us beating people's asses, you got women wrestlers, tag teams, trios, division, some comedy, some drama. Whatever you're into, we got it for you.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like AEW, like he said, is very good at giving variety, and I think also some of the best wrestling you've ever seen.
So, how did you guys get your start in the business? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of young guys out there that are kind of stuck. They don't really know what they want to do. But I know a lot of you guys bet on yourselves, and I know especially you, Ricochet. You've bet on yourself. You were at in the WWE, and then you're like, they're not really working for me, so I'm going to go in and do my own thing. And you've become a much bigger star in AEW, betting on yourself. Like, what kind of message would you have to young guys who are out there and they're not sure what they want to do? They're feeling stuck. What would you tell them?
No, yeah, I think as hard as it is to bet on yourself, I think at the end of the day, if you
yeah, grab that mic right there. Sorry.
No, sorry. At the end of the day, if you want it bad enough, it's funny because again, like you said, where we started, I started in a backyard company with some kids who were just a couple years. I was like 14, almost turning 15, so with a couple kids who were just a little bit older than me, like teaching me what to do. But I knew that it was just something that I love to do, and so again, as hard as it is to really bet on yourself, especially if you don't have the resources or if you don't have the connections or whatever it is. Like I didn't have any of that, but it really is possible, and I think the three of us are proof of that.
So the show's tomorrow night. It's at the Pinnacle in Nashville. You guys got about 20 minutes to hang out and talk a little bit. I want to talk about what life is like on the road. How do you guys stay healthy and not just eat absolute crap while you're out there? I mean, like are you guys traveling around with a hot plate? Is that what you're doing when you're in these hotel rooms?
It's a lot of Uber Eats, sometimes packing food for the flights. That's what I try to do. I mean, I'm standing next to Ricochet and this guy, a massive human being. I got to keep up with these guys. So it's fasting, but it's also, he's going to the gym after shows. Yeah. Both of them are doing cardio after the shows. It's working out every day, doing mobility work, watching what you eat. It's very tempting in catering. They always have cookies and cakes and pies. But if you want to be in demand and look like a top guy, be a star, then you got to really track and dial down.
All right, well, let's talk more about this on the other side. We're going to break down for some news real quick. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a heat advisory in effect across much of Middle Tennessee today. We're talking about feels like temperatures between 105 and 110 degrees. Then this cold front's going to bring a threat for strong to severe storms. Main concerns, damaging wind gusts, flash flooding from heavy rainfall. The greatest severe weather risks expected between 6 p.m. and midnight for everybody north of Murfreesboro. Franklin, you're included. Better call your airline before going to the airport today. More than 1,000 flights were canceled due to this new flood threat along the I-95 corridor. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, it's not just Middle Tennessee under threat of severe weather today. We get more from ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, who says the Northeast and Midwest could be in for this type of weather, the type that hammered parts of the West.
Other parts of the country are still reeling from deadly and devastating flooding.
In Wayne County, Utah, 5 family members were killed during a camping trip after being swept away by a flash flood. The victims included a captain in the Provo Fire Department, his wife, and their 3 sons. A daughter who was not on the trip survived.
Yeah, forecasters keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Bertha churning in the Gulf, expected to make landfall as early as tomorrow. It is just south of the Florida Panhandle, slowly rotating west with landfall expected in southeast Louisiana tomorrow. Still no definitive confirmation as to the source of the explosive diarrhea cyclosporiasis outbreak that has led thousands of people across several states to get sick. We get more from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Michigan is now reporting more than 6,000 cyclosporiasis cases causing severe upset stomach. That's up by 1,000 since Friday. Typically, the state sees less than 50 infections per year.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. Take a second for me and think about the valuable things that you have in your home. I mean, it might be a collection of firearms, might be some jewelry, maybe some precious metals. It could be your photo albums, the stuff that you don't want to lose, some documents. Whatever those things are, you know that they're irreplaceable to you and your family, but imagine if you lost them. It's a fire, it's a burglary, you lost some, all of those things. It's not going to feel good. And a lot of people have experienced this, and they're left feeling violated, they're left feeling disheartened, but you could remedy that with one phone call. You make a phone call to Parker Safes and Vaults, and the people that have been helping protect what you treasure for close to 20 years are going to help you pick the right safe for your budget and your needs. These guys will professionally deliver it, install it themselves, a veteran-owned, family-run, Christian family business, and they're going to help you just like they've helped so many others. They sell serious safes designed for serious protection. Liberty, American Security, Rhino, Graph Under, and more. They specialize in the right safe for the right customer. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Give them a call today. Get it done. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Or you can find them online, parkersafes.com. It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Really excited. I got some big guys from AEW in here. We got Ricochet in the Gates of Agony, Toa Leona, Bishop Khan. My son is named Bishop, and so we're coming to the show tomorrow night, and he always gets excited. He's like, "Oh, Dad, his name's Bishop." I'm like, "Yeah,
Got to start a Bishop chant.
hey, we got to start a Bishop chant." Well, welcome to the show, guys. Really excited to have you here. The show's tomorrow night at the Pinnacle. Tickets are still available. What can we expect from the show?
Yeah, right now, AEWTix.com. Get them now because they're going to... AEWTix.com. Get them now. Yeah, AEW, I think, brings a very good... it differentiates from what the norm is, and I think it gives that people something that really you've never seen before. What we're capable to do in the ring, the things that we're capable to do. You got to go see it live, especially look at us. Look how good we look.
Pause. So I love you guys being in here, but a lot of people don't know the grind that goes on behind the scenes. So what does it take to become an overnight success? How many years did you guys have to put in?
Oh wow, this year will be 23 years for me. So
23, and how old are you now?
I'm 37. I'll be 38 in October.
Okay, so you've been doing it for 23 years. What about you guys?
I've been doing about 10 years, and I started when I was 26. I'm 36 now.
Okay, and you got like a decade plus too.
That's funny you say that. No, I'm like 6-7 years in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
So when did you feel like you kind of made it in the industry? Is it kind of happening right now? Have you felt it for a while? I mean,
I guess the question is like, to us, what is making it or made it? You know, like making it professionally, being on TV. I feel like when I first started professional wrestling, I would consider that making it. But as now that I'm in here and I'm wrestling where the best wrestle, man, there is no end to the question, make it, or like
those goalposts move.
Exactly, because when you asked that question, I really thought about it. I was like, you know what? I would consider myself or us like, yeah, we made it, but as I'm living right now, I'm like, there's no way. There's still so much more for us to accomplish.
So, I mean, a lot of young guys get caught comparing themselves to other people, and I think that's one of the reasons why the goalposts move, right? But the best way to compare yourself is to you a year ago or to yourself 5 years ago. Do you guys get caught up in that behind the scenes? Is it kind of like, man, I wish I had that spot. Man, I wish I'd be there. Is it just a slow and steady pace working on your own grind?
It's a hard balance. Like, we're very fortunate and grateful and humble for where we are right now. Like, making a ton of money. I'm rich. So, but at the same time, you go to TV every week and you see people in positions that you wish that you're in. You move the goalposts for yourself. We have so much more that we want to accomplish. It took 3 years for Toa and I to get our first pay-per-view match. And it's taken people 6 months in the company. So we have so many aspirations and goals. We want championships. We want singles gold. Like, we've made it. Yes, we're making a lot of money. We're surviving, paying bills, feeding our families, but we're barely even scratched the surface of what we can accomplish.
When you say feeding
especially as a group too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to accomplish as a group?
Dominance. Sheer dominance, I think, in every whether that's like he said, whether that's singles gold, I was national champions, whether that's singles gold, whether that's trios gold altogether, whether it's tag team gold, whatever it is as a group, I think just to be at the top of the ranks. But like you said, it's a daily grind, and it's something that we don't shy away from.
What's that conversation like behind the scenes when management comes to you and they're like, "It's time for you to get the belt"? What does that feel like? Does it come with more pressure? Does it come with relief?
I mean, I think most everybody we that's what we work for. So you work for it, and whenever you have done the work and whenever you've done what you need to do to get in that position, I think you're ready for it. At least, again, everyone's different, but that's been my, case as I can think of. I've always feel like I've been ready for it. Like, again, Kobe always talks about how he's been in that position in practice 1,000 times. He shot 1,000 times. It's really no different when you're in the game than, so it's, you have to just be ready. You have to, for one, put in the work and then be ready for whatever comes your way. You have to be ready for it. And I think that's something that we all are.
Is it easier to put in the work before you make it? Because once you get on that travel schedule, once you get on that grind, does it make it? Is it easier to get there, or is it harder to stay there?
Good question, but I think I'm different than a lot of people. For me, the journey is, for me, what it's about. Obviously, you have your destination, you have your goals, but I'm more of a journey type guy. So I like the process it takes to get there. Once you get there, you have to work almost extra hard to keep it. But I'm a journeyman, as they say.
Yeah, I think everyone's different. It's definitely easier now to not train as hard because obviously, the saying is it's hard for a rich man to fight. And as Con has said earlier, we're doing pretty well. So right now it's like finding that extra passion that we had prior to the quote unquote making it on TV and then being able to pay the bills and take care of the family. Back then, there was no choice. Yeah. There was no choice of like, oh man, I have to go to practice and training after doing this Uber Eats. Like, I have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But now there's can be like, oh, I can sleep in, or oh, I'm just gonna do this or that. But talking about that discipline with us as a brotherhood too. Like, you talk about the struggles of traveling all the time. Like, what makes it easier is being with my brothers along this journey. Because being with Ricochet too, man, like he speaks a lot about the process in its entirety because he's been there. He knows what it takes to be, great. So we're, following his lead and seeing that he keeps using the word journey because, man, there'll be times in little moments where me and Connor are like, man, this is crazy. Like, and then he's like, oh no, I've been there. And then opens our minds like, man, he's really calm about this situation. We should dial back too then because we're following his suit. And when it's time to ramp up, we'll definitely ramp up with him. Yeah.
What are the dangers and the perils of being on the road and being in this kind of industry in 2026? I mean, it seemed like there was a generation of wrestlers who dove into the party life, and we saw that with like the Scott Halls, the Kevin Nashes, and then there were guys that came up like Cena who watched that and said, I'm not going to go that path. You guys are now like the next generation after that. So you came up watching Cena. You're putting your bodies through hell. You're on the road 4 or 5 days a week. What are those dangers like, and how do you combat that?
No, I think honestly today, in general, I feel like our generation, we have totally gone like I don't want to say the opposite direction of our forefathers, but again, we're the type of people who go to the gym after the show because we want to, we have a goal, or like he landed at 5 this morning, then went to the gym, then did cardio, and then we come here to do, what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of not our goals, but we're very health focused, I guess. I don't know.
Has sports medicine changed the wrestling industry the same way it's changed?
And I think obviously I don't want to say, the horror stories that you've heard, but I think, again, a lot of us want to, when we get older, we want to still be able to bend over and pick our grandkids up, or we want to be able to play with, we want to be able to physically still move. So we, again, at least the group that I surround myself with, obviously everybody's different, and there's people who go out to the bars and people who go to this and go do that. But like for the most part, I feel like our generation of athletes are very health and physically focused. That's kind of where we go.
Honestly, I think the dangers are the accessibility that people have to us nowadays. You can show up at the hotel or the airport and there's fans there. There's, even for like mental health wise, you can go online and people are constantly tweeting at you, DM you. There's people that have sent mail to my house.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
How are you finding our addresses?
Yeah.
Like that's the real danger. If anything, it's after the show, warm shower, it's mobility, relax, do health and fitness stuff. But then it's just people, their accessibility to us. That's the crazy part to me.
No, that's true.
So how do you deal with that? Is it just kind of like you have to ignore it?
You just do, For the most part, people are cool. People will chill. But like it's like you said, it's just the accessibility is crazy. But
is there an entitlement with today's fans almost?
100%.
I mean, some yes and some no, but yeah, I feel like
you said 50-50, and then
no, he's not wrong. No, he's not wrong.
He's over here going 100%.
This is me speaking. If they know me, I'm not one to shy away from speaking out. But that's not to say that there aren't still people who out there who aren't. But for the most part, there are people who feel entitled to the access now, I think. I feel like he's absolutely right. I feel like for the most part, people do feel entitled to the access to whomever their favorite wrestler or movie star or whatever is. The accessibility now is wild.
Is it harder nowadays to keep a storyline going from TV? Whereas like back in the day, a guy would lose his sight and he'd drive around with an eye patch for 3 weeks, and wherever he'd go, he'd have the eye patch on. That's got to be tougher because anybody can catch you in an airport with a cell phone camera. But is it also easier at the same time with social media to stay in character and be that performer all the time?
I honestly feel like AEW does a good job of keeping things pretty real. I think
like it's more authentic.
It's more authentic. It's more like, obviously we have our stories, we have our drama, we have our stuff. But for the most part, I feel like what drives two guys to fight each other, I think in AEW, we do a pretty good job of keeping things pretty realistic of why these guys don't like each other, so
less moonlighting as a mortician and a dentist on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's what I say about the accessibility part too, is like back in the day, you could turn off the TV show and you had no idea what these people were doing with their lives. I thought that was cool. There was a mystique there. So if there's ever behind the scenes footage, it drew me in to watch those kind of shows. But then turn the TV off, I don't know what these people are doing on their weekends. But now with social media, which is the good and bad thing about social media, you can build your following, but now people can see what you're doing on the weekends if you're posting about it. Or I live in Orlando, so people can see you at the theme parks and being like, oh, this is who you are outside of this. And it's like this entitlement of being like, oh, I know you as people would say my real name. And you have no idea who I am as a person.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me.
Is it easier to go about your regular life? Like when you're out there with your family, do people kind of leave you guys alone?
I mean, he gets it much more than we do.
I think, again, also, I'm not one to shy away from, if I'm with my family and someone comes up and says, I'm not one to be like, I don't shy away. I'll be like, no, sorry, I'm not doing that right now. You try to stay respectful, especially in public. But for the most part, if I go to a theme park or something, there's one time my wife, she's like, I'm going to keep track of every time you get, I think she stopped keeping track at like 17 times. I got stopped, and some I did, some I didn't, but I think they say, this is what you asked for. Not like, no, that's not what I asked for. It's like, I just wanted to be a wrestler. You just happen to like the wrestling that I do. I provide the wrestling, you watch it, transaction done. You know what I mean? But again, it's also cool at the same time. People, again, I've been doing it for so long. People are like, I used to watch you when I was a kid. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy because I'm a kid. So that's cool. That's cool that people, appreciate the art that you have given them.
What is the worst thing about the industry today?
I don't want to say the fans, so I'm gonna think of something else. But sometimes it can be the fans. But I kind of enjoy the industry. But everybody knows me. I think the worst part probably the fans. But also the best part is the fans.
Does it take a certain person to appreciate this industry? Like, can you spot somebody from a mile away and you're like, yeah, I get you want to be a wrestler, but you have no idea what it takes. It's not gonna work out. I mean, that's someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling can be an amazing professional wrestler, So that's a hard one.
I mean, I think to me, the worst thing, we talked about entitlement a little bit. I think people that get into the business that are pretty new, who are entitled, that's probably like the worst thing, the biggest pet peeve of mine. You've done this for 6 months and you're like, oh, I should be signed to a company already. You haven't done anything yet. I'm still have this old school mentality that you need to pay your dues.
Oh, yeah.
You need to travel the road. You need to do the crappy shows where you're not getting paid. You have to drive 10 hours.
Set the ring up.
Yeah. Like doing all that hard grit stuff for you actually can appreciate this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's people nowadays who get signed very quickly, or they get into it and they meet the right person and they get shot to the top immediately and they don't even know what a crappy ring feels like. Like you need to experience the pitfalls to really appreciate what we're able to do and like get to do for a living.
I feel like that's life. That's most industries though. Like that's just a life thing. What are your thoughts?
Oh no, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's the thing too, because I'm also in the belief of like, and I strongly believe there's anything that you want to do or accomplish in life, I know you can achieve it. Just how much work you're gonna have to put in. And I feel, because after each of one of our own stories of how we became, professional wrestlers, each of those stories were real hard, and we had our own trials and tribulations that we had to overcome. So knowing anyone else's stories, whatever your story may be, I generally feel like you can make it. But the issue is they won't put in the work necessary, and it makes it even worse when they're entitled or they were an ex-athlete. Because talking about like, staying healthy and stuff like that, we're professional wrestlers, but we're also like elite athletes. Not all professional wrestlers can say that. So when it comes to our training, we train like professional athletes, things that would mimic what I do in the ring, what he does in the ring, what he does in the ring. So our style of training is very similar. It might not be the same because each of our own, a defensive lineman is not going to do what, a safety's going to do, a linebacker's going to do versus what a corner's going to do. Like we have different things, but we're still a team.
Right.
And we still go to the gym together, stuff like that. So that's how we hold each other accountable. But, but we're willing to put in the work and grind because it's not easy. And as we made it, it's not easy. So for those that are trying to get signed to a professional, to get signed to a TV, I would just highly recommend being in love with the business. Because if you do not love this business, you will not make it, no matter how good you can be, because it'll chew you out and spit you out.
Ricochet in the Gates of Agony, AEW Wrestling at the Pinnacle tomorrow night. We're really excited for the show, guys. Thank you for the time, and I appreciate y'all stopping by. God bless y'all, and we'll be watching. Me and the boys, the whole crew, my whole family, we're all coming out tomorrow night. We're really excited. So good luck, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
11:52 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
It's 11:57. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Ken Weaver back in the newsroom. We got Gabe Victal producing. Chad Benson's in studio. And the text line just wanted me to, all they wanted me to do was ask the wrestlers, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, about the diarrhea outbreak.
As you do.
Well, you wouldn't want to get that in the middle of a match.
No.
Actually, maybe you would. You'd have a better chance of winning.
That'd be your super move, dude. Yeah. Oh, my God, he dropped the chocolate flood.
He dropped the EBM.
I wonder if if you even have a hint of diarrhea, you got to sit that one out, right?
Oh, you have to, man. There's a difference between playing injured and playing.
Didn't Paul Pierce one time, it was the NBA Finals, he crapped his pants.
Ooh. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And then remember they rolled him out on a wheelchair because he didn't want to stand up because he didn't want it to fall.
Yeah.
So you got him wheel him back to the locker room.
And then make the triumphant return.
And then he made a triumphant return.
After you taken some Imodium.
And it was like, people were like, did he get injured? Is he okay? He's like, okay. He's like, no, he just crapped his pants.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. You get so excited. Happens a lot with marathon runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody nipples and crapped pants.
Name my band.
Dude, I would never want to run a marathon.
No, God, no.
No.
No. There's no fun in that. Zero.
Yeah. No.
That's just.
I'm not a guy
who. What about the achievement? Screw the achievement. In my lifetime, I've run 26 miles.
The runner's high. Think of the runner's high.
I've run a marathon.
What, did your nipples bleed?
They did not.
Did you take preemptive measures?
Did I rub Vaseline on them? Because that's
I would have just strapped them up with like a Band-Aid or something. I just had a regular
T-shirt on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would never. I was young and fit, and I don't know what I was thinking.
I wouldn't. I've been young.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other part. But, I've definitely been young.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
When you used to be able to run around and just not. I mean, God, remember when you'd play tag with your friends? You'd run around all day for like 2 hours. You do that now.
Now I go to a playground with my kids, and if I think about jumping off the swing, I'm like, no, I'm going to tear my ACL. I better let this thing. I better let this thing slow to a roll. I was doing the monkey bars
with Jack a few years ago. I thought my arm just popped out. Literally, I thought I was going to. It just boom. And I was like, oh God.
There's a rotator cuff.
Yep.
What are you talking about today?
I'll talk a little bit about how bad driving is here in Nashville.
Says the guy that he walks to work.
Yeah. I do that, and there's a reason, because it's so bad. And talk a little bit about the governor's race. Bunch of really good stuff.
I don't feel like you should be allowed to talk about how bad it is here until you've done 24 for like a year commuting to work.
No, I was smart enough to do that once or twice and realized I was not going to do that. That's why we chose where we chose.
It is so bad.
Yeah. That's why we chose where we chose.
It's painful.
It is. And I'm like, I want no part of that.
Chad's in next. It's 12:01. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and Middle Tennessee. We're